everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
Today we're taking a look at a game called Happy Home, which is a name I kind of keep forgetting because there's a lot of, didn't Rebel make that game about a house where you were putting cards in there?
Yeah,
like Dream Home, I think.
Dream Home is a game, and it's a little forgettable. Happy Home is a fairly forgettable game, yes. Title.
It's from Alley Cat Games. I tend to like their stuff. And it's from Matthew Dunstan and Brett Gilbert, who used to be Z's favorite designers. That's not true. But what I mean is you like their games.
I do, generally, and I think they've done a lot of games lately, and I guess when you bring in the bulk, and then more of them you're not going to like.
They've done a ton this year.
Yeah,
they're really all over the place. So
we just reviewed one of their games not very long ago, and I didn't like it very much. I think that's what Tom is referencing. And it no longer is a silver bullet for me. It used to be. I saw these guys on a cover, and I was like, ooh, I'm liking that game. That's not necessarily true, and you should watch this whole video.
Here we go. Each player is going to have their board, and all the houses look the same. You have 4 different rooms in your house. They're color coded by the background of them. You're going to have a bunch of pieces here, all these different tiles, and then the back of the tile shows you which room that's going to go into. Each of those tiles has a matching card. You're going to shuffle a deck of cards, which is going to be determined by the number of players, and you're going to place cards face up here on this kind of circular track. And then each person's going to put a little person that represents them here. On a turn, whoever is farthest back is going to go first. And they can go as far as they want. Let's say they go here. They're going to take this piece of equipment and they're going to add it to their house. They find the matching tile and put it in their house. Then next the yellow player goes. Let's say the yellow player goes here. They'll take this one. By the way, anytime there's an empty one, we'll refill those. And when there's none left, that's going to start triggering the end of the game. Then blue will go. So let's say blue goes all the way up here and takes this living room. Then yellow goes, again, before green because they're last. And it keeps going around like that. At the beginning of the game, each person's going to have 2 starting pieces of furniture, so you place them in your rooms. Now, there's some rules about placing things in your house. You have to place it in a matching background, which is pretty easy to figure out. You can't go in these spots where there are doors. And once you put a piece down, it's there forever. Also, you'll notice here on the back of this toilet, there is some white lines. That means that needs to be against the wall, which I did. I can't put the toilet there in the middle of the bathroom because, obviously. So as you get new things, you can put them wherever you want, but they can't block the door, and once you put them down, they can't be moved. As players are doing this, they're trying to do different things to try to score the game, but at some point they're going to run out of cards, and you can pass whenever you want, and you'll get a welcome mat. The highest value is 7, and they go down from there. And that says you're finished, and when everyone's finished, you'll score. At the end of the game, you are going to add up points for your house. So you'll have the cards for all the different pieces of furniture that you've put in the house. And so if you have, you'll notice each room has 3 different types of furniture. So if you have all 3 types, the core pieces, you'll get 6 points. 3 points if you have 2, 1 point for my bathroom when it only has 1. Then you also look at all 5 colors in the game. You're trying to make your house match. And you get points for colors in the number of rooms. So if you have a color in all 4 rooms, which I don't here, you would get more points that way. You would get to 5 points. But in 3 rooms, you'd get 2 points. So I'm getting 2 points for yellow, at least. Potted plants are worth a point. They're not core furniture, but you get 1 point for each one, plus 1 point for each empty space next to it. So this potted plant here is going to get me 4 points. The welcome mat will give you points. Rugs don't give you any points at all, but they're double colored, so they'll count to 2 color sets in your thing. And then there's a design objective card that's set near the board at the beginning. There's 4 different cards, and each of them is going to do something different. This one is gives you extra points, 3 points, or 7 points for each room that has 1 item that's adjacent to at least 3 or 4 other items. So that's perfect fit. And then finally, scratches. So you'll notice there's a lot of scratch icons here. You lose 1 point for each of those. That's not covered up. Whoever has the most points is the winner. is considered a polyomino game to some degree. So it mixes two things. It mixes what I call the ratchet mechanism, where you move around.
Yeah, like a time track type thing.
Grab a card and stick it in your house. But the house, they're also polyominoes. Now, slight annoyance setting up. Because you kind of need to...
It's a pretty big annoyance, but that you can mitigate that by bagging things separately or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to spread it because you need the exact one to put in the thing. The weird thing about this game for polyomino game is, and I don't know how you felt experience-wise, I didn't feel that the polyomino thing was... It often didn't affect, like, I'm like, ooh, how am I going to fit this piece in? Occasionally that came up, but I was just like, I'll put this in.
Yeah, no, it's not I don't think it was interesting. I thought the polyomino part was either it fit or it didn't, and it was really painfully obvious if it fit or it didn't because the rooms are tiny. And immediately you're either like, ooh, I no longer can fit this. This weird L couch no longer goes there. Okay, I don't take it. Or it does go there and you go, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, and I agree, although I think from a different angle, but I agree that was not a big deal. And to me, that was almost refreshing because then I'm just concentrating on what I take. The ratchet mechanism of moving, I felt, was the bigger deal. I'm trying to get groups of colors. I'm trying to get the 3 different furniture pieces for the house. I'm trying to get these pots and decorations. Yeah. And so the polyominoes, occasionally I'd be like, oh man, I can't fit that piece in. But it wasn't the crux. And I thought the theme was pretty strong in that regard. Like, oh, the sink goes up against the wall. And I'm like, oh, look at my house. I don't know why I enjoyed that part. Yeah. But if you're looking for that crunchy, ooh, how do I fill the spot? I don't think this will satisfy you. This is not Patchwork. This is not Feast for Odin.
I agree. You're not going to get that. I also had a lot of problems visually, I thought, with the way the whole thing works out. The cards, the tiles, the background of the cards are an absolute pain. Because there's a colored bar at the top of the card. Like this card right here is yellow top, says bedroom. It shows one of the 3 types of things. This has nothing to do with the yellow room. You have to remember that the bar at the top looks like it would fit in this room. That room is not the bedroom.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You think that the bottom of the card should show... Well, it shows the background on the tile.
It shows the background on the tile. That's the room, right? And it's barely on these cards. I thought... That's just one of a few things that I thought graphically were really annoying and weak. And I feel these cards could have used a redesign to help the player. I think the big bar at the top should have been maybe just a little corner, and then that... Yeah, I don't know. Graphically, it looks messy to me. It looked very... This was our first shot at putting it together. Let's massage it.
Yeah, that didn't bother me as much. The only annoyance I had was I felt like they could have had double-sided houses and all the houses be different. I mean, again, if you're going to build with houses and stuff, why do they all have to be set up the exact same way? It just... You could have evened that out, put a little bit... Z's right. I mean, if there's one thing negative about this, it does feel like this is not too far off from the prototype. You know, they came in and said, here's the house, and I would have been like, whoa, can we make 5 houses? That's too much work.
I agree. This definitely feels like they got it and development was done. I assume these designers turned in this, and that was kind of it. There was not a whole lot else that happened. I'm taking a stab in the dark here. I don't know. For me, I have a lot of annoyances with the game, actually. I don't like it very much. Yes, the time track thing is cute. It's interesting. Is it does it fit what's going on here? No, they picked the thing. That thing is nice, you know what I mean? But it doesn't have anything to do with building houses whatsoever.
That I agree on.
We could have been drafting cards. We could have been passing a hand, and I keep one, and I give you a hand. It doesn't matter. They picked the thing. I like that thing, so sure, that's cool. I think immediately I felt cramped in every one of these rooms. This game wishes it could feel like Baron Park in my mind. Baron Park gives you this like area, you fill it, and you're having fun deciding where things go. In this one, it either fits or it doesn't. You're immediately going, oh, that doesn't fit anymore. I got to put it up against the wall. Never mind. What else can I take? So immediately every room felt cramped and annoying. The scoring, I thought, was so above and beyond for how small the game is. It looks like, and plays like a family game. I'm talking about you can mix in young kids into that.
Sure.
Now with this annoying scoring, you can't. It's like explaining the scoring is just a hassle. They're like, okay, so you're grabbing the pieces. There's 3 symbols. You want different symbols. I got that. The colors. You're going to get points for the colors if they show up in different rooms. So you need to go through all 5 colors. Blue. How many rooms is blue in? Okay, 3. That's what? How many? That's 4 or 6. What? Okay. Now pink, and now this color. It's this sort of do stuff and points will come at you, and we don't know. And then you have an extra card for scoring, some of which are just dumb, like -1 point for not filling in a space. What? This is directly in opposition with the pots. Like basically makes pots sucky. Because you get a point for a space around a pot, and this cancels it immediately. That's dumb. This shouldn't exist. This card is stupid. That's not one of the 4 you put in the game. I don't understand that at all. That's not a good one. In fact, I don't think this should exist. I think this game should be simpler and cleaner and give you a little wiggle room. It seems like they wound up the spring so tight, but then the game is so light. I don't get who this is for. I enjoyed moving the dude, grabbing a card, sticking it there, but the game was so bland. It's a real limp, kind of wet noodle of a game, I thought. I didn't come away thinking, what would I do differently? I could have done that. I could have hurried this. The whole thing just didn't inspire anything in me.
You're very convincing. My answer to that, I think, is it's short. And I know that's not a good example. That's not always a catch-all, but for some reason it says 20 to 45 minutes on here, and if you take setup out, it's 20 to 30 minutes, easy. Mm-hmm. So that stuff doesn't bother me, and I have fun going, look at my house, I have this funky couch in the kitchen, and I can't fit this sofa in. So because it's so fast, I agree with that scoring card thing. You can take it out. It doesn't actually change the game.
Yeah, no, you could.
And you know what? Of the games I played, I didn't play with that card. So that one I could see would probably be annoying.
It's just kind of goofy.
That bigger is better. Yeah, but I also love that ratchet system so much. And in this game, jumping ahead sometimes is worth it. I don't like the games where you're like, well, stay behind and you'll get more.
That's fair.
Oh, yes, I get an extra spot.
You will skip things, but I felt like you were skipping them because half the time I skipped them, it was because I wanted something ahead, and the other half was because those things didn't fit.
So what would you give it?
I'm giving this one a 4. I think it's just kind of lame. Go get Baron Park. Go get any of these other tile laying games. Go play any of the other ones that let you build some polyomino thing and have fun. This one seems like it immediately tells you, don't do that.
I'm giving it a 7. I actually really enjoyed it, but I agree with your points. I think this is going to appeal to people who love the theme. If you like the idea of the house and, the sink here, and I put the dining room here, and if you like that mechanism about going around and you can't go backwards, I think that will be attractive to you. And if you don't want to do the heavier thinking of, where does stuff go? And it's short. So that covers a lot of sins for me. I think it is going to be forgotten in a year, maybe. There's a lot of games like that, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. Mm-hmm. I had fun playing it. I see some of the issues he says for sure, but it was for me, it was like relaxing.
Yeah, there's a
little bit of that. I was like, I don't have to think too hard, but I'm still having a good time. And sometimes I just want to play a game like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is Happy Home. I hope you have a happy home. I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Z Garcia.
We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another video from the Dice Tower. Hey, you want to learn more about us, communicate with us? We have a Facebook group, we have a Discord channel, lots of different ways to get involved with the Dice Tower. You can find that in our Linktree link below. So just click that, it will take you and you can communicate with us on Facebook, join our Facebook groups. There's lots of cool things that you can find and become part of the Dice Tower. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Tom Vasel.